Good morning. Welcome to Tech with a Teenager. My name is Tammy. I'm one of your connection guides at Single Life Today. Here hosting with Rosie. She's our
Hi,
resident
everybody.
tech. And today we are so excited to teach you a trick on your iPhone that is going to save you hours and hours of time, but more importantly, spare you the frustration of trying to remember all your stinking passwords. Because I don't know about you, but I'm over 50. I cannot remember them anymore. So, Rosie, let's get rolling because this is going to be huge. You guys ready?
Yes, okay. Hi, everybody. I'm going to share my screen. And today we're going to learn how to use like your Touch ID for passwords. So rather than you having to type in your password all the time, this is going to be a way where you can just simply touch with your thumb on your home screen and then your Touch ID is going to work. So I'm going to go to my settings. Sorry, I was in my wallpaper. I'm going to go to my settings. So you can follow along, you're free to follow along with me just so that you don't forget like what we're gonna do. So, okay, so I open up my settings app and I'm gonna scroll all the way down to where it says Touch ID and passcode. So this is a personal preference. You don't have to have your Touch ID on, but I think it's a super cool feature because it saves lots of time, like Tammy was saying, and it makes it easier so that you don't have to remember all of your passwords. So I highly recommend turning it on if you don't already. So I'm going to open Touch ID and passcode. It's going to ask you to put your passcode in if you have one. Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking. Um, and then you should be at this screen, okay? And you can ask me any questions you have while we're going if you have any questions, Deb. Um, so once I open this screen, it says use Touch ID for iPhone unlock, iTunes and App Store, Apple Pay, and password autofill. Now I'm going to kind of just like explain these to you so it makes more sense.
I do have a question. I never
Yes.
set up Touch ID because I didn't want it to be slow to get in.
Well, Touch ID is actually a lot faster than your passcode because all you have to do is put your thumb on it. So if you want, you can try to.
I never set up a passcode because I didn't want it to be slow to get in.
Oh, okay. Well, Touch ID is if you don't want a passcode, Touch ID is actually a great way to do it, like, you know, to have your phone, because I understand it's slow, but it's good to have a passcode on your phone in case it, you know, it gets lost or something. So I think you should try turning this Touch ID on because that's the beauty of it. It saves time because rather than having to type in a password, I can just put my thumbprint on it and now it opens like that.
Okay, I'll try it. See if it works with my thumb.
Yeah. So what your Touch ID is great for is you can unlock your iPhone and then you can also get apps with your Touch ID. So rather than having to type in your whole Apple ID password, if you have iTunes and App Store toggled on for Touch ID, then when you want to get an app, it'll just ask you for your Touch ID. So all you have to do is put your thumb on the home screen and you don't have to type in your password. So if you, like you're saying, you want things to be fast and you don't want it to take a long time, this Touch ID is definitely super efficient for, you know, unlocking things and not having to remember passwords.
So I haven't set up a Touch ID yet.
So, okay, yeah. So I'll show you how to do that right now. So open your settings app.
Yep.
And then scroll down to where it says Touch ID and passcode.
Okay, I did.
And I have to enter my passcode, but if you don't have a passcode, you might not have to. And now does your screen look like this?
Yep. But
so it says use Touch ID for.
They're not green. I can put them all on green.
Yeah, so I would put them all on green because this way, anytime you have to type in a password, you just put your Touch ID in and it saves you all the time that you would normally spend typing your password in.
Okay, I have to set up my thumbprint first.
Yeah, so now do you see on my screen where it says fingerprints?
Yep.
So I already have my finger right there, but I'm going to click add a fingerprint to show you guys. And now you should get a screen like this. Is that showing up on your phone? Touch ID, yeah. So click like continue and all of that stuff until you get to this screen.
Okay,
Tell me
no, I'm there.
Okay, so now you follow the instructions, place your finger, lift and rest your finger on the home button repeatedly. Now you can do whichever finger you want, but I recommend doing your thumb because you hold your phone like this. So it's just so much easier when you can just do it with your thumb. So and this is also confusing, I know, because I've tried to do this with my grandparents before and it's super confusing, but basically what you have to do is just like lift it and then rest it and it like vibrates and then you just take it off slowly like this.
I'm doing it and they tell me when I'm not doing it well. Keep going to capture the edges. Okay.
Yeah, so you got it. And
So
then I kind of just like put the sides, like I put my finger like on the side like this and then like flip it.
oh, they want you to do that. Okay.
Mhm.
Back.
And then you should get this. It says complete Touch ID is ready. Your print can be used for unlocking your phone. So this is a super cool feature because if you just like have your Touch ID and then like there's your fingerprint and all that kind of stuff, so like now nobody can get into your phone because nobody's fingerprint is identical. So now I have my 2 fingers. I'm going to delete this one. And let me know when you have that.
I'm not done with my finger.
Oh, okay.
Adjust your grip. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's okay. And then I'll show you when you're done with that, how you can like unlock your phone
Touch ID
and all
is
that
ready.
stuff.
Okay. Passcode. Okay. Now I can unlock. Let's see. Touch ID.
Did it work?
Turn passcode. Shoot. It said it was ready. Every time I try to turn any of those on, it says, it tells me to set up Touch ID.
For what?
If I try to turn one of these on, it goes to there.
So maybe you need to set it up. In your fingerprints, it should say, you see where it says fingerprints on my screen? Your finger, it should say finger 1. Or you can like write your name on it so that you know.
Maybe I didn't, it said ready. Maybe I didn't press setup or something.
Yeah. So that's okay, but now you know how to do it. So you can do that on your own time and you can, do
All right.
that how many times you want because you know how to do it. But now I'll show you how like what you can use it for and stuff like that. So let's see, if we go to App Store and let's find an app to download. So let's say I'm gonna download this app, Subway Surfers. You would click whichever app you want to get, right? And then when you click get, you see how it says Touch ID to install on my screen?
Yeah.
So normally what you would have to do here is you would have to like type in your password, your Apple ID. And I don't know about you, but like for me, that is a huge hassle having to type in my Apple ID. So instead, now I can just click Touch ID to install, and I put my Touch ID in, and look, that's it. And now it says done, and now the app is downloading. So that is super efficient. So if you are able to, redo that Touch ID for you so that it's working, I definitely recommend doing it, because that was so easy. I just put my finger on it and now I have that app downloaded rather than me typing in my whole Apple ID. So yeah. And also, if you have the Starbucks app, I know Tammy and I were talking about this before, so I'm not sure if you guys use this, but this can be used for any kind of app, just by the way. I'm just showing you like how it's a shortcut. So if I wanted to like reload my card, then I could click add funds, and then I could click reload, and then it would be my Touch ID. So things like that, like, your Touch ID can be used for all of these things where you would normally type in a password and it just gets confusing trying to remember all of those things. So Touch ID is just a way more easy, or just an easier way to, remember, or not have to remember all of your passwords. So
And Deb,
yeah.
I wanted to mention something to you too. So even just to enter your phone, Ava Rose did make a good comment in the beginning. For your own protection, in case somebody gets your phone, by having this in place, you just have to hit the little circle on your phone, and then it prompts for your thumb, and it opens it up. So you never have to remember that passcode, and nobody can get into your phone except you.
Yeah, so just like if you look at something on my phone right here, right now, it's locked, and then it says unlocked at the top. Do you guys see that after I rest my finger on it? And then it says unlocked, and that's just from me touching it. So I don't even have to put in any password at all. And now if I press the home button again, then it unlocks. So I did nothing but my fingerprint. So it's definitely super cool, especially because, I mean, I know this is probably not a problem for you guys, but like for kids my age, like you have friends and they know your passwords and they like look over your shoulder and stuff like that. So the Touch ID is really cool because it's super unique. It's just your fingerprint. So nobody can get in unless they like take your thumb and like put it on the phone, which kids my age do, but still, like, I just think it's super cool. And I highly recommend it for, especially like if you're not super familiar with like the technology aspect. If you can figure this out, then like you figured out 5-10 other things, because you don't have to put in any passwords and remember it. So you don't have to write it down, lose your password notes. It simply just auto saves for you, and you can just fill it in with your thumbprint. So even if you forget your password, which I don't recommend doing that because you do, need your password to get into stuff, but the Touch ID is just super cool. So if you have any questions, I can answer that now. But it doesn't have to be based on the Touch ID. Like if you have any questions about anything, then I can answer that for you. Were you able to get this Touch ID thing figured out?
I have to go back, and each time I do it, it's not saving it. So I'll go back.
Here, let me do it again with you.
All right.
Click add a fingerprint and then show me, like, just make sure your screen is matching my screen. Or you know what? I can delete this one and I can start from the very beginning. Okay, so this is how your screen should look. Right? This is how your screen looked before, right? Because you didn't have a fingerprint. So then you would have to click add a fingerprint. And now you get this screen, right? Touch ID. Use your fingerprint in place of your passcode or Apple ID password for purchases. Start by placing your finger or thumb on the home button. Okay.
Right.
So now you place it on there, and then you get this screen, right? You're there.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So you keep going. You did all that already, right?
Yeah.
And then you should get to adjust your grip.
Yep. I'm doing it.
Okay.
Adjust your grip.
And then it says complete.
Not yet.
Tell me when you get to this screen.
Now I'm at enter a passcode.
Okay, so then you would enter a passcode. It's because I already have a passcode on mine, so.
I did.
Is it asking her to create a new one, Rosie? Is that what when it says add a password?
Well,
Because
she didn't have a password originally, so yeah, it's
correct.
asking her to create.
Okay, so this is a
The
new
Touch
one
ID
for you, Deb.
Because the Touch ID goes along with the password. You can't have just Touch ID, which is a little
Gotcha.
frustrating. Like you have to have a passcode in case your Touch ID fails.
And so it has to be more than 4 digits. It
Oh
says,
no, it can change. I can actually, let me show you how to do that.
Mine is 4.
Yeah, but for some people it's like 8 or 7 or
I
you know.
see.
So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, you see where is this the screen you're on?
yes, I don't
You
have
would click
passcode.
passcode options.
I don't have passcode options.
Maybe. Okay, so then enter in a passcode like that, but then you can like change your, once you go into change your passcode,
Shoot. Shoot. Shit. I pressed the home button and it started me all over. Damn it.
for the Touch ID.
Yeah.
It's okay, Deb. Don't worry about it. I know this. Once we get this going, I'm sensing frustration, but you'll be really. It's gonna be. It'll be much better once we get this. So maybe she should create a password first, or do you think she can do it right here, Rose?
Yeah, I mean, because if you create a passcode first, then you can,
I have a
you know,
passcode that I always use that I'd like to use, but it's 4 digits.
and it's 4. Okay. So yeah, I would start by setting your passcode and then click passcode options. You should have a passcode options and you should be able to say, you know, change or passcode options, sorry. And then you can have the 7 or the 4, or you can do like an alphabetical password, I think.
So where would she set or change her passcode? Help walk her through that.
That's in this Touch ID thing, and mine says turn passcode off or change passcode because I already have one. But yours should say like make or like add a passcode or turn passcode on. Does yours say that?
Well, I've gone through this, and if I go back, I'll have to do the fingerprinting all over again.
Okay, so I would, for the time being, just set a passcode that's 6 digits so that you can get past that screen since you've already done your Touch ID. Then once you finish that, I'll take you to your settings and then we can click change passcode and then we can change it to a 4-digit one. So right now, just enter a 6-digit passcode, but make sure you like write it down or remember it because you'll need it when it asks for you to, when you change your passcode, it's going to ask for your old one. So you can just do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now, and then I can help you remember that. So tell me when you've clicked that and that works for you. Were you able to enter that?
Yeah, and it says for security, enter the password for my email.
So you can do that if you have that password. It seems like a hassle because there's like so many 2-step like factor authentications, but it's really a good thing that Apple does that because otherwise if you just like had your password and like if I have like, you know, my friends who know my password, then they can just like change things on my phone. So the 2-factor authentication is a good thing. So it might seem really annoying, but it's good.
Good, I remembered it.
Yay. Good for you, Deb.
And now tell me when it says you've completed it. Okay, perfect. So now you're on that screen and now you have your Touch ID. Does it say finger 1 under fingerprints?
Yay, yes.
Okay, beautiful. So now this is the last step that we'll do today. I'll help you change your passcode so you can get the 4-digit one that you want. Okay.
Yep, click change passcode.
So scroll down to change passcode. Then enter your old passcode, which is the 1234561.
I didn't do that.
Okay, then whatever one you did.
Enter new passcode.
Now, do you see passcode options?
Yeah,
Perfect. Now you would click on that and then click 4-digit numeric code.
great.
And now you can enter your new passcode.
Great.
And now do you have your new passcode?
It's doing the star thing. Yep, verifying it. These
Okay.
are numbers I've used since I had children. So 30 years. I remember it. Okay,
And then you can turn it off and on and try unlocking it.
okay, turned it off.
And now try unlocking it with your Touch ID or your passcode.
So that means you would press the little circle on the bottom of your phone, and it should represent a passcode entry. Instead of typing the passcode in, just place your thumb on the same little circle at the bottom, and you should be able to open your phone.
Yep, I can do anything.
Woo, did it work?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
So
Okay.
now,
Yeah.
so Deb, you never have to enter a password for any of your apps ever again. Any website, it'll automatically it memorizes them all. And now
Yeah.
and when it asks the passcode, you just put your finger on, you put your
Great.
thumb on the circle.
it works because that finger doesn't work to open it.
No, it's just the finger that you set it up with. So like
I
I
was
set it up with my
testing.
thumb.
I was testing it because I didn't
Mhm.
believe it. But
Fantastic. So Deb, let's see a big smile. How do you feel?
that's great. That's great. Maybe one of the old people here who doesn't have a will pick it up.
All right. Well, thanks so much. This was awesome. And Rosie, do you want to tell everybody where to post their questions if they have questions about technology?
Yeah, there's a Tech with the Teen group in the Single Life Today section, and you can just type your questions in there, and then it'll send it to Tammy, who shares it with me, so I know what you guys' questions are for the next time.
I did leave some questions, so
Yeah.
there'll be
Okay.
next time maybe.
For
Yeah.
sure. So thank you, Rosie. We know you got to head
Thank you,
out for
everybody.
some. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. All right, bye guys. I'll
Thank
see you
you.
next time.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah,
That
bye.
was good.